Hey Rick, good to see you again.
Hello.
So next up, we almost started talking about this before the camera started rolling, but let's
Yeah,
start with it
too
actually
eager.
on this time. The Crux, it's back and better than ever before.
Do you want to sell them? Better than
Yeah.
ours.
I wish I could have used them in and amongst obviously what's been months of lockdown and climbing now. I don't know what I'm more worried about, my levels of weakness or the fact that my skin is paper thin right
Silky
now.
soft. Yeah, no, I think we're all going to suffer from that, aren't we, when we're back on the rock?
But we'll have a nice pair of shoes. So tell us more about the
Yeah.
update of the Crux.
So, yeah, we've completely updated it compared to the previous version, completely new shape. Obviously, as you can see from the profile, it's quite a technical shape. It's not our highest tier of performance, but it's designed to be definitely one of the more top-end shoes. So we have a last shape, which is downturned, downturned in the middle sections, or downturned camber and downturned toe. So yes, your toe is very much going to be in a downturned position. Quite high heel tension, but what you'll feel from the heel is that we're using the same type of heel that we use on shoes like the Synergy and the Mutant, with a heel cup which is an enclosed rubber heel cup. This is all one piece, but it's using a softer, more flexible rubber, so it's really supple. It really pulls onto your heel really nicely. The toe shape at the front as well, so although it is quite downturned, it's a relatively low toe depth here. So in other words, your toes are quite down, but then you don't have to cram your toes in too tightly to refill that space up. So the idea is, yes, you've got a more technical fit, but you're not having a painful fit. It should feel still quite nice over the tops of your toes. You're not digging in the knuckles of your toes into the top section above the in the rubber section over the toe. You'll see a different coloured orange section in the middle. That's some recycled content as well. So we've used recycled materials on the Beta Eco we've mentioned previously, and the Silex, the new Silex we've mentioned previously. Obviously on this shoe, with it being a more performance orientated model, the level of that recycled material is a bit less, but it's still using up a reasonable chunk of the sole there on the lesser used bit of the sole unit. We're using a Pro 2 version of the Zenith rubber this time, so it's a great compound, really sticky, but holds an edge really well. So see this as being a good all-round performance rubber. And then upper materials, it's a synthetic upper, so vegan friendly. We've got two Velcro straps on there, which are opposed and a really nice wide entry. I know some of our previous shoes perhaps have been a bit guilty of not opening particularly widely and can be a little bit awkward to get into. So we've taken some feedback on board and made sure that's really wide and open, easy to get into that shoe. It's got I don't know what you can see from here, but there's a half cotton, half microfiber lining to the shoe. So yeah, you've got good levels of, it feels comfortable next to the skin, and it's going to minimise the stretch.
And they're also available in both men's and women's, so a higher volume and a lower volume.
Yeah, they look very similar. The lower volume fit has the white rubber as opposed to the orange on the heel. Whether you call it women's or low volume, effectively amounts to the same thing. It's a narrower in width, lower in volume. It'll be cut slightly lower at the ankle and the heel, but otherwise performance characteristics are the same. And price-wise, they come in at 110, which we think is really competitive, especially nowadays. You're seeing performance shoe prices rocketing up from people.
In the modern day and age, that is at the highly competitive end of the spectrum, which if you'd have asked me that or said that a few years ago, you'd have probably been met with gasps, wouldn't you?
Gosh, yeah, I remember the price on certain shoes going from 65 to 67 and there being outcry, but that feels like a long time ago. It really wasn't that long ago.
So my first impression when I got these was actually just how much support. So they are quite stiff, particularly around the sort of forefoot. So again, these are sort of more at either the limestone, the edging end of the market, aren't they, as opposed to the sort of soft and sensitive smearing end of the spectrum.
I think that's right. I think for a start, there's an awful lot of very soft, very sensitive shoes out on the market at the moment, and I think for a lot of people, they want a little bit more support. If you're actually out climbing outside, maybe having a bit more support is of benefit. Climbing on small footholds on the limestone is definitely going to be a benefit. So we felt it was a good idea to address that gap we felt it was in the market.
It's refreshing because I think I complain regularly. partially as someone who quite likes stiff shoes for certain things, how
it's
actually
having a balance, isn't it? There's, like I say, there's plenty of soft shoes. We've got plenty of soft shoes within our range. It's having that choice available.
Exactly, because there's, I think in recent years we've reviewed things like the Synergy and the Satori, and both of those are incredibly soft. Ninja, same could be said as well. And it's nice to actually see, the range become more complete with, shoes that complement each other.
Yeah, that was the aim. So hopefully people will agree with us, and we think it's a price which is really attractive. So
cool. Thanks, Rick. That's perfect.
Thank you.